So I just finished the run. 15 minutes, 45 seconds. Goes into hydro, drops down, does some fancy stuff to go through reactors, lots of swimming. You know, you need a jetpack. And it's done. I had grinded it for like 3 days, working on the routing, the pathing. It gets uploaded. I'm excited. It was a clean run. The next morning, Shamy from the Aviotic Factor speedrun Discord messages me, and he's like, hey, I found a thing where you can go from office sector straight to reactors. And I'm like, no way. Reactors is below office sector to make that possible. Also, carbuncle skip right there. Nice little jump. Instead of crouch walking past it slowly. He's like, alright, let me show you, because it's hard to explain. And he shares the video. And I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. So I immediately start looking at the routing, figuring out what needs to be done. Stuff that needs to be built, you gotta make a crafting bench, of course, and a bed. Because we still have to do Shadowgate normally. We haven't had any discoveries yet on how to get into Shadowgate and then take the portal out without doing the objective.
Over here.
So we gotta prep for that. So, as anybody who has seen an any percent run before goes, this is pretty standard stuff. Getting all the materials needed to make the two structures, the bench and the bed. And couch RNG is once again an annoying factor. Not too bad, because you only need one long couch and then any other couch to finish it. So only 2 total couches. And then you need some way to actually complete the objective in Shadowgate. Which it turns out, the pistol can just shoot through walls. So we need to get out of the cafeteria, collect everything to make... Actually, this isn't even collecting anything to make. The stuff to make is sitting in the cabinet down in the starting area. So this is everything we need to clip through walls and complete the Shadowgate objective. And one of the nice factors about this run is it gets a 2-section couch, which is considerably lighter and saves a small amount of time. This is a cool clip to get into security for the pistol. It's also routed because the security checkpoint has a water cooler, and we need 2 water coolers to do some cooler clips to get into Shadowgate. Would have been nice if there was something like cots or even another couch, but again, the couches are heavy, so weight becomes an issue. Oh yeah, and then chairs play a big factor in falling safely. We're almost to the point of showing the new skip that Shamy found used in an actual run. Just gonna death warp back to the cafeteria because the door was never opened. It is possible to open the door, you just have to go visit Jaeger on the other side and then reload the game and the door will magically be open. But I didn't find an optimal way to make use of that, so it was just easier to do a death warp. The death bag just has the leftover ammo that didn't get used. You only need 5... You only need 4 shots, actually. But I think the minimum you pick up from a single thing is 6. Magazines? I don't know the joke there. I don't know guns, I'm sorry. When I play this casually, I'm literally beating things to death with melee weapons and ignoring the guns unless I absolutely have to. Okay, so here's the first part. This is how you get from office to reactors right away. There's a little bit of variance in this drop. Every once in a while you'll get stuck in the floor. Most of the time you'll lose the chair. I think I got it. Yeah, I did get it back in this instance. So it's nice to have a backup chair because if you fall into the abyss doing this next clip, you can reset and try one more time. I line it up on that right pillar beam, find the very edge of that invisible whatever I'm standing on. You hold forward while interacting with the chair, and if all goes well, You fall in like that, and we're almost to Shadowgate in under 5 minutes. Since I was able to preserve the chair, I don't need to pick that one back up, but I was using it to avoid fall damage, which will come up one more time. Actually, in Shadowgate itself, to not get a sprain or be grabbed by the Mystagogue to get through the portal. Unlike the run I just did the other day, we don't have a means to kill some of the enemies. So the route normally taken that would sneak attack kill a witch and a chieftain had to find an alternate path. So this was the alternate path, where we go to the right instead of the left and go in the side door, because once you go through the door on the back side, I guess, of the facility, for how you're intended to approach it, there's pretty much nothing there to aggro you. There's a chieftain you'd have to bumble into him, and then the witches guarding the wall, and then the far chieftain that you don't even go near, that's on the other side. You'll see. So we're in, there's a chieftain to the right there. Even if he does aggro, enemies don't know how to jump up things or climb up things, so he wouldn't, at most, he'd be able to come over and shoot at us through the door, and if that genuinely happened, you could just close the door. So there's the two coolers. There's one more critical clip that needs to be done to get to the left side of Shadowgate and destroy the one you can't really peek through, and that's what this cot is for. We're going to do a normal old cot clip here. I guess cot clips are normal for me, but they haven't really been used in the runs before. Similar to the run I just did, instead of getting rid of all the Jotuns, this is just a quicker one-time crafting table setup to get rid of the Jotun on the balcony. It is possible to just run past everybody, but with just a smidge of bad luck and probably a single bullet hit, you're going to be bleeding. And if they hit you multiple times, you're going to be bleeding multiple times, because you have one armor gloves on, and that's it. And these guys do enough damage that they will bleed you like every 3 hits, on top of just their guns doing good damage. So it's maybe a little bit slower to do the reset after this. Well, world reload, but it gets rid of the fighter, who is a constant problem, and the Jotun on the balcony, who is very hard to get past quickly without getting shot, because what I'm about to do here also aggroes him, so he is ready to shoot at you the moment you're in range, instead of taking a moment to go, hey, it's you! And this is so silly. Bang, there you go. Just stick the gun through the force field. And the funniest part is, the way the game calculates accuracy, it's whatever the physical object you're aiming at is. So even with no points in accuracy, just holding the gun against something, you get perfectly stable accuracy. Where normally, if you were standing far enough away from those, your hand would be very unsteady with no points in it. It would be feasible to just run up the stairs and head to the portal from here, but it's a little bit more risky. For one, you have a broken leg. Well, just a sprain, but that still does slow you down a little bit. And trying to get past that Mystagogue there, he does have a tendency to grab you. And to avoid him, you end up going point blank to a witch, which is very bad if they decide to shoot you instead of run away, because their shotguns will put a severe bleed and chunk like half your health. And then you end up doing this last run at bleeding to death, and you'll still make it. Like, you can get here on half health and a severe bleed, but you're gonna die listening to this guy's speech. Thankfully, the run is done here, so...
Wait, Promethean! Do not attack!
Yeah. Get to listen to his speech. Technically, the objective finishes when you step through the portal. That's when it switches to be continued. But in the tradition of the last 2 patches, even though the objective had hit the final point up in the top left, where they'd either just be gone or, say, get to reactors, I think was the case of Hydro Plant. We always had to go and talk to the sister at the end. So now we don't have a Sister of the Unlost. We have this very decorated rat. So this would technically be an even faster run if it just ended when the portal ended. So, but that's up to the community. I think since this patch just came out and probably won't matter when the full game hits 1.0, we'll just keep to tradition because it's interesting and it's fun to pantomime at him. And as usual for my runs, there's the world time. 8 minutes, already made it to the end. Thanks for watching.